Hey kiddies, it's Terrible Triple Feature time once again, and this week we're going to look at the ride of the Western Valkyries. That's right, I hope everybody enjoyed the wrap-up of Nicolas Cage month, but now we're going back to just free-form, random, terrible triple feature ideas. And this one, I'm sort of tickled pink about, because I love all the movies on this one, and it's such a just random thing that occurred to me. My friend Steven thinks that this triple feature sort of perfectly sums up all of my interests all in a nice little bow. So there's that. At some point in your life, you've probably heard Richard Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries. It's a very famous piece of music, and it's usually pretty threatening and scary. It was used in several newsreels by the German propaganda machine in World War II, especially during Luftwaffe bombings. Its usage in more pop culture, you've probably heard it most famously in Apocalypse Now, when the helicopters are flying in with Robert Duvall, and otherwise probably with What's Opera Doc with Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, in which they, use. I think they use a lot of the ring cycle in that one. The Ride of the Valkyries is from Wagner's Ring Cycle, the four-opera epic to end all epics about the fall of the fall of the Norse gods. But what's funny is that you wouldn't really picture such a percussive, badass piece of German opera music popping up in cowboy movies or westerns, and it does at least 3 times that I've found. So we're going to look at them. Our menu includes Ghost Rider, My Name is Nobody, and Rango. Now, Ghost Rider, I mean, guys, come on. You didn't think we were really done with Nicolas Cage, did you? I mean, once Cage gets under your skin, it's very, very hard to get him out. We covered Ghost Rider at the beginning of Nicolas Cage month, so we're not going to go into too much detail about it. Suffice it to say, Ghost Rider is clearly a Western. It's set in the West, even though it is filmed in Australia, and there's a lot of Western tropes, not the least of which being Carter Slade's reveal as the Western Ghost Rider, and probably my favorite scene of the whole film, which is Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider and Sam Elliott's Ghost Rider riding along the plains to Spider-Bait's cover of Ghost Riders in the Sky. But before all of that, before Johnny Blaze's life goes completely to hell, figuratively, he tries to pull off a record-setting motorcycle jump, in which he attempts to jump an entire football field covered in helicopters. And when the helicopters are lowered, of course, thanks to Apocalypse Now, the only music that's appropriate is Ride of the Valkyries. So it plays and it has a context, but it's, sort of incidental, but hilarious that, in a Western, Ride of the Valkyries. Second, we have My Name is Nobody, and we're moving up in terms of usage and prominence of the Ride of the Valkyries piece. My Name is Nobody is a spaghetti western spoof starring Henry Fonda and the wonderful Terence Hill of Superfuzz fame. Henry Fonda is an aging gunslinger who just wants to retire quietly in Europe, and Terence Hill is the titular nobody who is perfectly happy with Henry Fonda retiring, but only after he performs one last badass shootout to shrine his legend for all time. And what nobody has picked out for him is to take out as much, if not all, of the Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch, the gang of outlaws that were more prominently featured in the Sam Peckinpah film of the same name. The film was produced and co-directed at times by Sergio Leone, and as a result, of course, the music is done by the wonderful Ennio Morricone. And whenever the Wild Bunch appears, we have a very spaghetti western, Ennio Morricone sounding version of Ride of the Valkyries, because basically they're the end-all be-all. They are this tidal wave of gunslingers that answer to no one but themselves and their own greed. And I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this film. I had a feeling I was going to like it, but I had no idea I was going to like it this much. And it might be in no small part for the fact that if you like the anime Trigun, this is essentially Trigun if it were live action and not sci-fi, and just a straight, like, more closer to a straight up cowboy show. And it's wonderful. Terrence Hill as Nobody is the physical embodiment of Vash the Stampede. He is just chaotic good and wonderful, and this is actually the last Western that Henry Fonda ever did, so it's notable for that as well. And it's just an all-around fun movie that also features Ride of the Valkyries. Finally, we have the Gore Verbinski computer-generated film Rango, starring Johnny Depp as the lizard with no name, who takes on the alias Rango and tries to live out his fantasies as the hero of a dilapidated western town. I will never stop loving Rango to itty bitty bits because it's fascinating, because it's not a kids movie. It's not even a cartoon for adults. It's a cartoon for people who love and adore film. So how can I not love this? And during one of my absolute favorite parts of the film, Rango and his posse have cornered the Possum Gang because they think the Possum Gang has stolen all of their water, and they try to steal the water back from them, and the Possum Gang gives chase, and they give chase on a fleet of bats, and when the bats take to the air, which is just breathtaking to see, the Hans Zimmer music kicks up, and we get, I swear to God, a jug band rendition of Richard Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries. And I'm not going to lie, it never leaves my MP3 player. I think this is one of the best pieces of music I've ever heard. I love it so much. It captures the scene perfectly and enhances it, the ridiculousness of the whole thing. How in the center of this movie, we have this gigantic chase sequence all over the desert, between rodents on little roadrunner type birds and possums on bats. And they're shooting at each other, they're throwing dynamite. Johnny Depp's Rango lizard is in drag. It's just completely absurd and wonderful, and it just raises the whole film to a new level. So that does sort of cover everything I love. I love westerns, I love sci-fi, I love cartoons, I love foreign films, and I love just ridiculously in all of its shape and form. Not so much opera, no, never gotten into that. I do like the Ride of the Valkyries music. But so, Ride of the Western Valkyries, it's a great triple feature. Ghost Rider with our beloved Nick Cage. My Name is Nobody with Henry Fonda and Terrence Hill, and Rango with Johnny Depp, Isla Fisher, Ned Beatty, and a whole slew of other really wonderful actors pretending to be small lizards and rodents in the West as cowboys. So watch those, and I'll see you guys next week.